William Tompkins and MUFON director say Earth is controlled by warring extraterrestrial species. Scientists say we could all be living in a galactic zoo run by aliens. Just 2 years before his death, William M. Tompkins had written Selected by Extraterrestrials, quote unquote. It included sudden chaos in the UFO community with his incredible testimony about the U.S. Navy's secret development of space battle groups with the assistance of major aerospace companies, beginning with Douglas Aircraft. He can be considered one of the most incredible whistleblowers to step forward and disclose the secret space programs, ET agendas, and hidden governments. He claimed to be part of an operation involving U.S. Navy spies who stole UFO plans and anti-gravity technology secrets from the Nazis during World War II. In July 2017, at a press conference, Tompkins made an unprecedented statement. He worked for the Douglas Aircraft Company alongside extraterrestrial Nordic alien women. It had been 4 to 7 years before NASA appeared. He claimed about it in his book mentioned above, Selected by Extraterrestrials as a title, that was published in 2015. Additionally, he revealed that the Nazis had already had operational UFOs during the war, and because of the information that the U.S. spies were able to obtain, the U.S. later developed its own fleet of UFOs, which then got siphoned off into the black military sphere under the control of Majestic 12, the ultra-secretive group that controlled and managed the UFO alien issue in the 1940s. This is what he claims. Now, I don't know if he has given any images of these extraterrestrials he claims he worked with. Now, during the time of World War, there were secret societies such as the Thule Society and the Vril Society, the UFOs in Antarctica. British historian Nicholas Goodrick Clark wrote a whole chapter about Maria Orsic in his book Black Sun, published in the year 2001, and where he connected her with the Vril Society. The author mentioned that Orsic could communicate with alien civilizations, and one of them was from the planet Aldebaran, which is located in the Taurus system. And according to Tompkins, the Germans were in contact with the extraterrestrial reptilians at the same time as Orsic was doing her channeling, quote unquote. And the Führer found out about Orsic, her abilities, and the fact that she was receiving information that detailed how to construct UFOs. So according to Tompkins, the Führer allowed Orsic and the Nordics with whom she was working for to continue work on their UFO program because it was they were already in contact with reptilians, and because Hitler knew he could always take over Orsic's project at any time. I mean, this is fantastic stuff. I'm sorry. There are various people coming out saying that. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. What can I tell you? I mean, I can claim anything I want, that I've seen, met, worked with, but when you have no images, why don't you bring us the alien? Why didn't you bring the aliens so the alien could have an interview with us? I'm sorry. I don't want to belittle the man. He's not around us anymore. But why don't you give us images or bring them by the hand and have them come and sit for an interview? Anyway, Robert Wood, who was interviewing alongside William Tompkins by Search for Truth Reality, claimed that the Nazis' technology rapidly advanced due to their relationship with the reptilians, so that they actually got to the far side of the moon before 1945. Dr. Wood worked in research and development management in Douglas Aircraft and McDonnell Douglas from 1956 to 1993. Later, he became a board member of MUFON, and he was given $500,000 to disseminate UFO documents and $250,000 to make a UFO documentary. Later, Robert and his son Ryan scanned hundreds of MJ-12 documents and made them available on their website, majesticdocuments.com. And according to William Tompkins, he was recruited at a young age by the Navy due to his precocious ability to build highly accurate model ships. After working at North American Aviation in Northrop, he was hired by Douglas Aircraft Company in 1950. In the interviews, such as with Project Camelot in his book, and in his book Selected by Extraterrestrials, Tompkins reveals much of his story. He explains that MJ12 began in 1942 with the senior Douglas, the man who started that company. And Tompkins stated that right after the Battle of LA in 1942, in order to handle the implications of UFOs openly showing themselves in the skies, Douglas pulled some key men into a group or think tank that later became MJ12, is what Tompkins explained. Dr. Wood stated that MJ12 is mostly associated with the Air Force, not other branches of the U.S. military. He explained that the U.S. Navy started back engineering UFO crafts in 1942, before MJ12 came into existence, and it took the Navy around a decade to produce functioning UFO craft, but they did so eventually, Tompkins explains. Tompkins stated that when the first astronauts went to the moon, they were shocked to discover it had already been occupied by Draco reptilians. He said that the reptilians, over 9 feet tall, were standing next to their advanced craft. According to both Tompkins and Dr. Wood, the reptilians had already made a deal with the Nazis. Amazingly, Tompkins himself claimed he saw ancient structures on the far side of the moon and that he saw a floating building 1.5 miles above the lunar surface. And according to Tompkins, although there are many ET species interacting with humanity currently, including Dracos, reptilians, and Nordics, which have a great influence on the world, in his Project Camelot interview, Tompkins prevented himself from disclosing more information about reptilians as it was harmful to his credibility. Tompkins also described the U.S. military concerns about UFOs and alien beings and the military's rush to create advanced space-based weapons which could be used to defend the planet Earth against an ET threat to our civilization. He reveals U.S. Navy as battle groups operating outside the Earth. He personally designed 5 spaceships and 30 support ships. Using the latest technology, he designed different spaceships for Northrop Aviation Company, and Northrop started building the huge craft underground in Utah, he says. Tompkins claimed we are now building even better battle groups. The Apollo moon landing were also designed to build a base on the moon. We have had bases on the moon along with bases on Mars and Jupiter moons, according to Tompkins. A month after the shocking conference, Tompkins passed away unexpectedly on August 21st, 2017 in San Diego, California, at the age of 94. Well, he was very, very old, 94. This was originally published by How and Why. It's on Collective Spark. And I guess you could say that this also has something to do with the person who hacked NASA and other agencies, claiming that he saw documents about off-world astronauts and travelers to other areas of the solar system, things that he didn't expect to find. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.